Welcome back to Generative AI 101, the podcast that discovers and explores the cavernous labyrinth that is AI and generative AI. I'm Emily Laird, your snarky yet totally lovable guide through this digital wonderland. Today, we're peeling back the layers of something that's more common than bad airport food: AI bias and inaccuracy. So, we just got through this prompt engineering mini series. And we'll come back to more prompt frameworks as we go on. But this week, we're going to kind of explore how we get more bang for our buck, how we look at the prompts that we put in, look at the outputs we get from our AI model, and we really start to evaluate. Some of that's going to be talking about, like today, bias and inaccuracy, okay? So we're going to peel back the layers of this bias and inaccuracy, like I said. And if you've ever wondered why your AI seems to have this worldview of a 1950s sitcom character, well, you're in for a treat, okay? So grab your metaphorical spork, because we're about to dig into this mess. By the end, hopefully make it a little bit less messy for you. So welcome to Generative AI 101. All right, let's get into it. Now, AI bias. Where do we even start? We made it. We're biased. It's biased. We all have inherent bias. It's just part of it. We're born with it. It's just part of our DNA. It's like that one friend who just can't help but bring up politics at Thanksgiving. It's annoying, a bit predictable, but something you just can't ignore. In AI terms, bias is baked into the system, like raisins in a cookie. Some love it, most don't, and no one asked for it. So what are the types of bias that we're seeing in our AI systems? Well, first we have data-driven bias, the kind that comes from AI models trained on historical data. Think about it. If an AI has been fed a steady diet of Western literature, asking it about non-Western cultures is like expecting your grandma to drop some fire K-pop lyrics. It's not gonna happen. It would be hella awkward if it did. Then there's algorithmic bias. So the sneaky kind that just kind of creeps in when the algorithm itself has a preference. It's like your GPS, always suggesting the most boring routes because it's safer. Okay, sure, you'll get there, but where's the fun in that? Lastly, there's human bias, which, guys, let's be honest, I said at the beginning of the show, it's us projecting our quirks onto our creation. Like trying to get your dog to love jazz, it's not gonna happen, but we keep trying. So what's the role of prompts in this whole world of bias, right? Here's where it gets interesting. So the prompts you give AI can either tone down or totally crank up that bias. For instance, asking for a typical nurse might spit out something straight from a 1970s hospital drama, but tweak that prompt to ask for the role and responsibilities of nurses across different healthcare settings, and suddenly you've got a more nuanced, less cliche-ridden answer. Keep that in mind when you're prompting. You're always going to want to evaluate the prompts that you create for bias, and there's tons of examples you can find on this and other literature online. If you're truly interested in the topic, there's entire books written on this inherent bias and the art of us creating bias just in the way we communicate. All right, so now let's talk about inaccuracy. This is AI's partner in crime. So this happens when the model overgeneralizes, like assuming every rural town is basically a setting from a Hallmark movie. You move there, you're a smart talking city woman like me. You meet a rugged farmer lumberjack. He doesn't want love, but somehow your smooth talking ways and his slow paced love of the land merge and make the perfect romance. Look, that's not what's happening here, okay? I'm sorry to take you on that disgusting journey of my fantasies. So the solution to these inaccuracies, right? Test your prompts. Test your prompts like you're sampling a new hot sauce, okay? Carefully and in different contexts. They get spicy. Over time, you'll learn to refine those prompts and get closer to the truth. So this is where that prompt evaluation comes in. You need to evaluate what you're writing. You need to evaluate what the AI is saying. And they're all a little different. It's just the truth of the matter. So how do we fix this? All right, it's all about iterative prompting. Basically, trial and error with a fancy name. Try a prompt, see what comes out, and tweak it until the AI is behaving like it's had its morning coffee. Don't forget about the tools. Platforms like IBM's AI Fairness 360, I'll link in the show notes, can help you catch bias before it becomes a problem. Think of it as an AI spell checker, but instead of catching typos, it's catching all the stuff that could get you canceled on X. If that's even a thing anymore. Can you get canceled on X? I don't know. Take a page from Microsoft's playbook, all right? So they use fairness tools to make sure their hiring AI isn't doing something totally cringeworthy, like only hiring people named Chad. It's all about transparency and making sure your AI isn't secretly a jerk. And that, my friends, is our exploration into the interesting, nuanced world of AI bias and inaccuracy. So hopefully you're leaving with a better sense of how to wrangle your AI into something a bit more accurate and a lot less biased. Remember, it's all trial and error, okay? If you've got questions, thoughts, or just want to chat about making your AI less biased, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just look up Emily Laird and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, as always, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, you know more about AI bias and inaccuracy now than you did when you arrived.